Hello everybody. We're here, and boy, do we got some stuff to talk about today. We are going to talk about Donald Trump, fat shaming, body shaming, a Miss America woman who was
Miss Universe.
Miss Universe, even worse. Holy crap! I'm somebody who knows something about fat shaming, and what was that about to fall off?
It's okay.
Hey, this is my 10th broadcast. Hey, you're creating a shadow on my shot. So, hey, we're here.
Careful.
I know. So we're going to have a good time. Hey, we got people signing in right now. We're going to have a little discussion about fat shaming. Let me tell you something. By the way, I'm fat. I'm overweight. I have been overweight for the better part of my life, all of my life, I guess. But I wasn't the fat kid that I thought I was. I always thought that I was this fat kid. I grew up thinking I'm the fat kid. And then I saw pictures of myself when we first started doing the whole Facebook thing about 10 years ago. I found all these old pictures, and people started putting old pictures of me online from like jazz band in 9th grade and other times in my life. And I'm thinking, I really wasn't that fat. But I was fat shamed by kids, and I had this mental picture of myself as being a fat kid, right? So I have a place, a point of reference to talk about here, because I know what it is to be fat shamed, and I, for all my problems as a overeater, I eat to commiserate, I eat to celebrate, right? I just eat for every emotion I support with food. I have an addictive personality. I've been very good with alcohol and drugs, as much as I like to have a drink from time to time, and sometimes a lot of drinks in a given night. I don't drink every night. I don't drink that often. I go weeks and days without sipping alcohol. When I go out and party, I party hard. But I always party hard when it comes to food. And again, if I'm depressed, I eat a lot. If I'm happy, I eat a lot. I just eat. I have serious issues. If there's food in the house, I've been sitting at home on the couch crying at 3 in the morning, eating, thinking I'm not hungry, but why am I eating? Like out of control, the way people are with drugs and alcohol, right? So when Donald Trump starts fat shaming a Miss America, Miss Universe, and if I haven't told you before, I was actually on the David Letterman show with Donald Trump when he was presenting 4 gals from Miss Universe, promoting Miss Universe back in 2007. And that's when I said, hey, give me the Donald Trump. Give me the Don in hair and makeup. And he's like, he's right over there. So I've actually been on the same TV show in the same building in the same hour as Donald Trump, unlike Putin and other people that he claims to know. I actually met him briefly, or saw him. I was in the green room for about 5 seconds at the same time. Saw him walk through with the 4 gorgeous young ladies. And can you imagine a woman who just won a beauty pageant, who gains 12 pounds, being called Miss Piggy? It's disgusting. It's bad enough we got kids in schools doing it. It's bad enough we got employers doing it. Now we're going to have our president be like the bully in chief, the fat shamer in chief. This is the guy we want running the government. This is the guy we want running the most powerful nation in the world. This guy, can you imagine going in a room with Angela Merkel or anybody of these other world leaders and say, hey, wow, have you put on a few pounds? Let's talk diplomacy. Let's get that out of the way. I am completely disgusted. I'm not a partisan. I am not left-wing. I keep saying it. I'm just saying it because I don't want people to come out here and says, oh, liberals, liberals, liberals. No, I'm not a liberal. I am just so disgusted by Donald Trump that I can't respect anyone. If you can give me real reasons why you're voting for Donald Trump other than the party line, like real reasons from your heart, what you truly believe, and I'll tell you if I believe it's true or not. Not that you believe from your heart. If you believe your heart of hearts that Donald Trump is the guy to save this country, God bless you. You clearly have not been listening to everything. If you think Hillary is half as bad as the Republicans say she is, God bless you. Clearly you don't listen to everything. But I would say they're, at worst, equal footing when it comes to corruptness. All right, they're equally corrupt potentially, but Hillary is equally corrupt and qualified to run the country, knows enough to run this country. There's a Republican Congress that will keep her in check. She won't be able to go spend a fortune. That's not going to happen. She's not going to be able to raise taxes beyond crazy belief because the Republican Congress won't let her. However, she's the one we need talking with all these other countries. She's going to be more hawkish than Obama, but she's still going to be measured, all right? And, hey, Melissa, what's up? So, yeah, we just can't have leaders saying these offensive things. It's bad enough you got a shithead running Maine, right? But, like, seriously, who takes Maine seriously? It's a beautiful country. I know a lot of state. I know a lot of great people from Maine. But the governor from Maine, who gives a crap about that shithead? Worse off, we got the shithead in Michigan that's poisoning people by horrible government choices. King Richard Snyder. I just call him King Dick. Governor Richard Snyder, I call him King Dick. It's bad enough when these like shitheads get into office at the local level. We could deal with a shithead once in a while as chief of the police or as the mayor, almost as governor, God forbid. I mean, in a place like Michigan, there's only so much you can do, right? But hey, Rachel, hey, Melissa. I don't understand how Trump is anywhere near equal. I understand the 20% of the country that, pardon me, the 20% of the country that is completely obsessed with the assholes and the morons that are completely obsessed with Donald Trump giving them a voice and making it okay for them to be bigger assholes and bigger morons. Hey, Rachel. And, right? So, yada, 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 yada. I don't understand how anyone, this should be like Reagan in 84, right? Or Reagan in 80. Like, she should be sweeping. It's because of 30 years of propaganda from the alt-right against Clinton that she's not. And I am a centrist ready to vote and march down the street saying, please vote for Clinton. Because, and I'm not a father, but I'm a brother. I have a sister. I have a mother. I have a wife. I have nieces. I teach kids improv comedy that are very insecure at times. After a few classes with us, they're amazing. We create little monsters because we break them out of their shells. But one of the reasons they're in their shells to begin with are things like fat shaming or nerd shaming, geek shaming. Like I always say, nerds and geeks rule the world. Those skinny little things outside the runway, and even there, I'm not that impressed, but outside the runway are absolutely useless to society. I'm sorry. If the wind blows, they fall over. It's ridiculous, right? Hey, what's up, Chrissy? All right, we got some theater folk here. What? Priya, all right. Never heard Walt talk before in a vid. That's a commanding voice. Oh, thank you. I have a radio voice. People call me and they think it's a voicemail. Hello, Walt Frazier speaking. It says, oh, is this a real person? And I'm getting ready to go sing in church, so I have my church job tonight, rehearsal. So I'm all warmed up and ready to rock. And I get passionate. I get in my performance mode, and I'm trained to speak for 5,000 people. Now is the winter of my discontent, made glorious summer by that son of York. Hey, Nikki. And I am the loudest, idealistically centrist person I think you'll ever meet. Most people of my passion and volume are far left, far right. As I keep saying, we need more people in the middle, screaming left, screaming right. So we got some people here. Let's talk about this fat shaming of a former Miss Universe, of calling a Miss Universe Miss Piggy. She went from being unhealthy thin to win a beauty pageant to gaining 12 pounds and still being on the thin side, but Miss Piggy for Donald Trump, right? Yeah. Hey, Priya, you need to move to America so you can vote for Hillary.
No, that's Priya Ghana. You're mixing her up with Priya.
Oh, that's not Priya?
No, it's Priya Ghana.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Priya Ghana.
She lives in Jersey.
Oh, you're Jersey. What exit? Oh, sorry. Can't resist. Bad comedy. Bad Beauty and the Beast. one of the MSNBC shows is like doing a whole segment called Beauty and the Trump, I think. And, ooh, crazy. I know. I never knew I'd know two Priyas in one lifetime. So this is awesome. So yeah, I'm sorry, Priya Gana. I messed that up. So go vote. Go vote. I don't care if I'm persuading you or not to vote Hillary or Trump or not this or not that. Go vote. I almost hope that Hillary wins and the Republicans keep the Congress. It'd be nice if we get the Senate. If Democrats could take the Senate, or at least go 50-50 so we can have discourse. I'd like the Democrats to take a few seats from the Republicans in Congress so we can have more of a discourse, an actual discussion rather than people just screaming stupid shit across the aisle and nobody listening. I really want to go down to D.C. and just offer free improv comedy workshops to all of Congress, to all of the people working in both camps, because nobody listens. Nobody listens anyway. I don't even know if they're capable of listening. They got their heads so far up their ass, they can't possibly listen. So, I mean, Paula Marie Torres, Queen on Queen. Oh, yeah. Well, who's that?
That's Pal.
I am a USA, not a citizen. Oh, no, you can't vote. Oh, no. Hey, even Miss Universe from
She's
where?
not old enough to vote yet, I don't think.
Oh, no, how old are you, Priya?
No, not Priya.
Oh.
I thought you were looking at Pal.
Oh, no, who's Pal?
Pal from the fandom.
Oh, yeah.
The X-Files.
I know. I didn't know you were under 18, Paula. Melissa, yeah. And I tell you, I voted for pro-choice because I really don't think who wins president in and of themselves matters that much. I really don't. People make way too much of what one or the other will be for your day-to-day life. However, Trump, as bad as he is, magnified with this Congress, could destroy the world. And that sounds extreme. I don't think he's a coke addict. I was joking about that the other day. Howard Dean saying he was a coke addict is ridiculous. Wouldn't be surprised if it turns out he was, but for somebody like that saying it, for somebody like me, I'm a comedian, I say it, I'm like, 5 steps below talk radio. Maybe more. Maybe I'm like, wait, But, yeah. Oh no, a minor. Oh no. Were you born here? If you're born here, you are. You should go get your card.
He's Puerto Rican, right?
Puerto Rican?
Yeah, Puerto Rican.
Oh, Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really think he could destroy the world. Because he and Putin get together, one or two things are going to happen. They're either going to become buddy-buddy and we become a puppet state of Russia because as strong as Donald Trump thinks he is, he's so ownable. He is so bought because all you have to do is manipulate his ego. So either he becomes a puppet of Putin or he decides to get strong and show Putin who's boss, and they start pushing buttons. And that nuclear football, that thing that Trump has no clue about, the nuclear triad, goes into play. And yeah, exactly. They're either going to be buddy-buddy. Remember, whenever you go on TV, folks, turn off your cell phones. That's right, I'm going to turn that off now. But, yeah, so, I mean, it's scary. It is absolutely scary. And everyone needs to get out there. Yeah, exactly. He's going to be a Putin puppet. A Putin puppet. That could be a road show. The Putin puppets. Donald Trump and his cabinet, right? The Putin puppets. We just have like da da da, yodelay 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 hee hoo, yodelay yodelay yodelay. I'm better not a soprano. So, what do you think, guys? Jump in there. If you have comments, you have things you want to discuss. Yeah. What's that?
Oh, it's working now.
Oh, it's working. Yeah, it seemed like it was getting a little tight there. It's one of these things. I'm doing this every day just to raise awareness, get the conversation. We need more people to talk about this, and I also believe have a place to get it out. Right? I always tell my students to journal so that it's not stuck in here where it could drive us fucking crazy. Right? We need to get it out of our heads. out of our dreams. And all right. So, process. Say what you need to say. This is the place that don't hold back. Don't censor yourselves. Say what you want to say. Get it out of your heads.
Why are you voting?
Why am I voting for Hillary? I think if nothing else, watching Monday night, I saw Hillary perform in that debate better than anyone else I have ever seen perform in that debate. I believe Hillary, as far left as she was in the early 90s, right? Early 90s, she was pulling her husband to the left. She is closer to center than Obama. And I'll be honest, I'm more anti-Trump than pro-Hillary. But what I saw Monday night was somebody who knows what she's talking about. Somebody who knows foreign policy. Somebody who knows domestic policy. Someone who knows economics and what is going on in the inner cities, as well as in the burbs, as well as in the rural sections. She knows what's going on. She's served in so many different areas of government, from being First Lady of Arkansas and knowing what goes on in middle of America, to being First Lady of the country and being, and some might say she was running the place at the time, that Bill was her puppet, right? Behind every man, right? Well, why don't we just hire the great woman behind the man for a change, right? Let's just skip a couple steps and just go right to it. And I really believe, as somebody who teaches management training through improv comedy and communications and everything else, let's face it, women make better bosses most of the time, right? Because they do listen, because they do consider everything. They make many fewer rash decisions. Oh, I know. But David, I mean, is Trump, I think they're equal footing. We have two people that are equally corrupt. You want to get on Hillary for being the person that sells the White House, or do you want to get on Donald Trump, who tried to buy the White House? They're equally corrupt. But, I mean, Donald Trump demonstrated Monday night he really has no clue. His answers on nuclear, his answers on just about everything, he has no clue, and all he can do. And not only does he have any clue, he went into that debate with, as a Republican, as well as a former Republican, I could have stood up there with Hillary and said, yeah, that's great, but that's going to bankrupt us. We need to do this. Or that's great, but we should be doing this. I would just love it if Trump was half clueless or had half a clue and could actually present a debate. Because this country, like I said yesterday, what this country needs more than anything else is a debate of real issues, of ideas. And Hillary is not far left, but she's definitely to the left of center. We have nobody on the right that is doing anything but screaming rhetoric. There's nobody on the right that is centrist right of center, that is with reasonable ideas debating, right? In Congress, they're just screaming, the rhetoric. And then we have Donald Trump screaming, nothing. Absolutely nothing, right? The people that are going to be on Donald Trump's team, that keeps bringing more and more from the alt-right, from the far right, from the folks, not all Republicans are racist, but Donald Trump keeps bringing those people into his inner circle, right? So I'm not saying Hillary is great on everything or anything, but she does know her shit. And yes, I believe she has taken advantage of situations and has profited from it, but you can't say anything less of Donald Trump. So I would say, the scales are even when it comes to who can we trust. This whole nonsense that we can trust Trump any more than Hillary is complete nonsense. They're, as far as I'm concerned, equally distrustful, equally deplorable when it comes to being on the up and up, right? They have both done things in their career. And I'm possibly giving Trump, because the things he has done and said and everything else. But everything else, if this is Hillary, this is Trump. Everything else, they're equal when it comes to deplorable and untrustworthy. Right, exactly. I don't trust either one of them when it comes to, exactly when something bad happens. Now the difference is, I think Hillary's taken advantage of situations and has covered up when she got caught. But nothing, almost nothing, has been. I know what you sent me, David. I apologize. I haven't had a chance to look what you sent me. I got to say that. You know what? I have been on the fence, David. I have been on the fence, wondering if I went on a Gary Johnson rant, pro Gary Johnson rant every night for the next 6 weeks, and we got enough of us. How many millions of people would we have to reach? He's sitting at 8%. He's not even hitting 10%. I am so anti-Trump. I am pro-Hillary and you know what? The problem, David, I am probably on paper a libertarian. I probably am a libertarian on paper. But there are just way too many libertarians that seem batshit crazy to me. That, you know what I mean? Like they're the or the people running Libertarian Party, like a lot of people running Republican Party, they are the screaming idiots that are like, we need this, but we don't have to hate gays, but we need this, and they're just yes and no. I mean, I don't see a lot of solid, great leadership going to Libertarian Party because you know what I mean. So yeah, like. Every conversation I've had with somebody says, "Oh, you sound like you're libertarian, like me," and I'm like, and I'm not saying this about you, David. I don't know if you're a libertarian, but I've just met so many that I'm like, "Oh, you're not making a good argument. You're not convincing me that I should follow you down that hole." But again, on paper, fiscal conservative, fiscal responsibility, at least the whole conservative word. As much as the word liberal, I mean, these terms are thrown around with such loose, no care for what they really mean, and they don't really mean anything. They are thrown out there with all kinds of connotations, right? See you, Chrissy. What one person says, and spread the word. If not, spread my video. Spread the word. Get out and vote. Everybody go vote. But again, David, I'm like thinking, God, I think there maybe, and I thought about this about Perot in the 90s, but maybe enough of us get on that. I know, but he does get what's going on in Syria, Gary Johnson. And I'm torn. He says he won't smoke in the White House, but maybe what we need, I'm not a pot smoker. I just get the munchies without any chemical inducement. Yeah, I know. Larissa's father is from Aleppo. We know what Aleppo is, but that's my wife, by the way. But when he said what's Aleppo, we just flew. He lost me. But I know about Aleppo because my wife's father grew up in Aleppo. I've known about Aleppo for a long time. As soon as I heard Aleppo in Syria is going down, all of a sudden that's when I really started to pay attention to Syria more. I knew about ISIS way back when, but you know what? The biggest problem in this country, you could say for all the problems that we have in this country, the biggest part of this problem in this country is too few people getting involved in the process, too few people involved in the conversation of what's really going on. And because of it, we have a lot of blind followers. And it's the same reason Hitler got into power. It's the same reason the so-called communists were able to get into power. They talk the talk, they say some pretty cool things, and then they get in and they take the power, right? You got a few people. You got a few people. There's some funny. Well, Chrissy, that's my problem. That's why I haven't gone there saying, let's vote for Gary Johnson. And again, I live in New Jersey. Me voting for Gary Johnson is probably a safe protest vote, if nothing else. But if we get too many people in North Carolina or Pennsylvania or Florida or Colorado, Nevada, go down the list, Ohio, right? Too many of those people voting for Gary Johnson from those states, will give Trump the presidency. But that seems strange to me. You know, that means there are that many Republicans that are anti-libertarian in some ways, right? They're anti-Hillary, so they're sticking with Trump because they hate Hillary, I guess. But in my mind, the Libertarian Party is a subset of Republican Party, right? And the problem is by having a totally separate candidate. But the Libertarian Party has been trying to separate the Republican Party from the far-right social conservative views. And like I said, I still think pro-choice is the conservative view, right? Politically conservative, to not force myself onto you, to not force what I think is right. I'm pro-life. I'm not pro-abortion, but I'm not pro-life politically because it's not my place to tell you or tell a doctor or tell anybody else what they should do with their body, right? That whole thing. So I think pro-choice is the politically conservative view. I'm Catholic. I don't think I have two beautiful nieces that might not be in this world if my family was more pro-abortion. They were born, not into a marriage, yada yada. It's very good chance that if my family was any more pro-abortion, that these beautiful young girls would not exist. So I am not pro-abortion at all. But it is not my place to go around and tell you whatever, right? It's not my place to go shoot a doctor or somebody at a clinic. It's not my place to shut down Planned Parenthood because I don't believe in abortion, because those women need health care and Planned Parenthood is providing it, and all these old white fucks think they know what is good for a woman. Clearly they don't. And Donald Trump is the epitome of that, right? All of that. And it's even, just fat shaming in general. Apparently it's not Putin, it's a 400-pound guy that's cyber terrorizing the world just from his bed, right? On his laptop. Some 400-pound fat guy. I'm off my diet. I'm getting close to that. So that could be me. So maybe I am the greatest threat to the world, right? That could be me if you skip a few layers of logic. So no, that's not what's going on. It's scary. It's sad. More sad than scary. I really believe, even if Donald Trump wins, we're not going to have a mass exodus. It really was Putin. Yeah, that's the problem. It's proven that it's Russia. Donald Trump has gone through the security, what do you call it, the intelligence briefing, right? Now, we don't know what that entails, but there are people telling us on the 24-hour news channels, Fox included, that, yeah, it was Russia. It was Russia. It's disgusting. And there are way too many people that are affected by this, and not just Americans, the entire world. We are now, and we have been, this isn't news, but we are the caretakers of the entire world in many ways. And we set the tone. If we don't set the tone on global warming, if we don't set the tone on how to treat our neighbors, if we don't set the tone on how to treat the worst off among us, then how can we go to anybody and expect them to rise up to our expectations? There are people like Trump, and then, don't even get started on the fact someone like Trump, there's a great thing today. He's worth 3 point some billion, like 3.7 billion, not 10. And this is from Forbes, listing the richest people in the world. 3.7 billion, not 10 billion. But how much money would he have if he actually paid his taxes? How much money would he have if he actually gave money to charity? Right? And I'm not saying, it's everybody, I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist, I am generally a capitalist. But the problem right now, the trickle-down theory doesn't work, and people are hoarding the cash for themselves. They're not paying people well. They're paying people worse than ever compared to inflation. They're hiring less, right? They're hoarding cash. and people from Wells Fargo that made the CEO made $200 million a year in 1 year, while firing 5,000 employees. Right, 5,000 employees fired by Wells Fargo, while the one guy made $200 million. The CEO made $200 million off of his shares. The shares went up, and he has 6 million of these, and they were up 200% or something like that. I know I'm messing up the numbers, but if you follow the Elizabeth Warren attack on him, $200 million this guy made, while 5,000 people were kicked out of a job for just following orders. They're blaming the low-level employee that makes 40 to 60 grand, when the guy who makes $200 million a year is still making money and not in jail for doing all of these things and forcing his employees to do illegal things, right? And I don't know if they're refunding fees to all of the bank customers that they stole from. They literally stole from these people. If you still belong to Wells Fargo, what would happen if everybody dropped Wells Fargo? Everybody leave Wells Fargo right now. Take your cash out. Take it somewhere else. Now, the problem is the other bank's probably doing the same thing. Wells Fargo got caught this year, right? That's part of the problem. But maybe we, the people, can actually make a difference by doing something different. We all go out and vote. That would be different. More than 30% of us go out and vote, right? If you're 18 and you're a citizen, go out and vote. Vote early. Don't vote often.
You sent an apology letter?
Huh? Who did?
I don't know. That's what Nicole said.
Who sent an apology letter? Oh, the Wells Fargo?
Oh, the Wells Fargo.
Wells Fargo? Yeah, Wells Fargo had an apology letter, right. An apology letter for people losing their jobs, for stealing their money. And meanwhile, the guy still has $200 million in the bank from the last year alone. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Right. It's Wells Fargo. Right. Go back to Bear Stearns. For all those people who lost their jobs. Merrill Lynch. Merrill Lynch landed up on their feet because they were actually bought out by Bank of America eventually. I did a corporate event for them 2 years ago. But, all these people, and I don't want to alienate my clients, because I have some great clients working in some of these companies, but I know the people I know are great people. They're not doing these shady practices. Yeah. Oh, I know. Well, he got destroyed, but there's still maybe things coming down the pike. He got destroyed, but he sat there and took it, and then went back to his mansion or went back to his swanky DC penthouse apartment or whatever he's got, right? Got in the limo, drove away, got in his private jet. How many? They can't afford Santa. Yeah, they can't afford Santa anymore. I sent people to Jamaica for SunTrust for like $4,000 just to play 2 characters for a weekend at a retreat. And, they used to spend a lot of money on these things, and we charge less than most. I know most people are making $5,000 a weekend for that kind of stuff. We still work because we never charge that much. But a lot of people went out of business because they did. But so far, nothing happened. Yeah, Congress can get loud. Elizabeth Warren can get loud, but we're still waiting to see what the FBI is saying. What happened to all those people after the crash? How many execs after 2008 didn't lose their job? Millions of people lost their job. The execs took all the money from the government and then took their bonuses, right? The problem is, idealistically centrist like me starts to sound like a liberal just by saying common sense stuff. It's not a liberal's thing to say those people should be in jail. That's not communism, that's not socialism, that's not liberalism. That is, no, they broke the law, they stole money from the employees, they stole money, they destroyed the country for the better part of 4 or 5 years. They destroyed people's lives. Period. Most of the problems we have right now are still a result of that horrible thing that happened with the financial sector, right? Big Short, right? If you saw The Big Short, I don't know how you can't be a socialist. I don't know how you can't go see the movie The Big Short and not vote for Bernie Sanders. Just to fuck him. Just to say, fuck you. You know, it's a fuck you vote. We can't afford a Gary Johnson protest vote. We need a Bernie Sanders fuck you vote. We need somebody to go in, and people are calling Donald Trump the fuck you vote. Donald Trump fuck you vote is a fuck you to DC maybe, but he's not going to do shit against all of his buddies on Wall Street. You know, now he hates a lot of people on Wall Street because they don't take him seriously because he's a big dummy, right? At least that's what they're saying. You know, he's so insecure because, you know, he's just a kid from Queens and trying to be, you know, now he's the big Manhattan billionaire with zero class. So he wonders why nobody wants to take him seriously. He has zero class. So that's just, you know, but he's part of the problem. He's not the solution. He's not like the alternative to Bernie Sanders. Like, he's not like, oh, Bernie didn't make it, so we got to go for Trump. No. Yeah, he's rich because he didn't pay people. When all those thousands of people did not get paid for doing their job, he still made millions of dollars on all those deals because he declared bankruptcy, paid himself, declared bankruptcy, said, oops, corporate veil, I get to keep my money, I don't have to pay you. Right? Sure, maybe he did it within the confines of the law. But that's the scumbag that he is. He's using the law to squeeze every penny out for his selfish fat fuck self. I'm fat fuck, so I can say that. He's squeezing every penny out for himself. Every penny. While everybody else. And then he goes around and has the nerve to fat shame Miss Universe. To fat shame Rosie O'Donnell, who may be a big gal, but Rosie O'Donnell's a comic commenting on what a fucking asshole you are, and you can't take it, so you got to go after Rosie O'Donnell. Rosie O'Donnell's job as a comedian is to point out to the world what a shithead you are, Donald Trump. That was her job as a comedian. And if you make it very easy for us comedians to make up jokes, that's your own fault. If you make it very easy for Hillary Clinton to dissect you, that's your fault. You can't, oh, she's using what I said against me. Oh, that's not nice. That's not fair. All those nasty commercials that just replay things you said or what other Republicans have said about you. 90% of the commercials out there are you, just footage of you. You know how easy you've made for Hillary Clinton? If you can't take somebody using your words against you, maybe you should shut the fuck up. It's that simple. It really is not rocket science, but you're a fucking moron, so you don't get that. So, blah. Hey, what's up, Stephanie? Waiting for Schadenfreude? Schadenfreude? Is that the Avenue Q song? Schadenfreude.
It's an editorial from the Times.
Oh, okay. You know, Schadenfreude.
But yeah, there is also a song.
Everybody's little. Is that the same word?
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay. I didn't know that was a real word. I thought that was a word they made up for Avenue Q. I'm not an elitist. I'm a math and science guy who became an actor. I would say I'm above average intelligence, but I'm not an elitist. Certainly not a liberal arts elitist. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it's really easier said than done, I guess, for Donald Trump. But Hillary threw little pieces of bait. She was just fishing. She kept calm. She smiled. She was just fishing. And you fell for every single trap. Look at the date. Oh,
That's from 2008.
Oh, okay.
October 2nd.
Yeah. Oh, no. I don't want to delete your comment. No, I don't want to block you. I don't know how. It's hard when I'm live. I'll go back and read it. What's that?
I have it.
Oh, you have it. Okay, Larice has it. So.